The issue is the manipulation,
Why in the
But
world
you
did
took
you
the
accept the check?
the lying.
Because you asked me to.
That's not believable anymore.
Your son lies to everyone and everything.
I made some mistakes, just like anybody would.
I mean, you know how girls talk, so you know she knows a lot. Do you think she's a little naive?
You gotta watch him, he's a thief.
My name is Judge Carla Brown, and I sit on the bench of the Gwinnett County State Court in Georgia. And every ruling I make has an impact on someone's life. Sometimes the bench puts a little too much distance between me and the people I judge, so I'm heading out on the road. No gavel, no lawyers. I'm on a quest for more personal justice. Morning, guys. What are we doing today?
Bollock versus Butler. Mr. and Mrs. Bollock loaned their son and future daughter-in-law money to start up their own business.
They loaned them $18,000, is that right?
$18,000.
So why are they suing?
They haven't been paid.
What's going on with the business?
The business is over now. Kids aren't getting married anymore.
So these families don't get along anymor. That could be a problem.
That could be a problem.
Are the parties here?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, let's go hear from them.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's do it. Mr. and Mrs. Bollock, you loaned $18,000 to Jerry Butler and his daughter, Andrea Butler, for the operation of a repo business. Your son, Gabriel, was also involved in this business to some extent.
I pretty much ran the business. I'd got all the clients, all the business, ran the trucks.
The only reason that I would have even considered the loan to them was because Andrea and Gabriel were engaged at that time.
What makes it tough is you had Gabriel in your home. You're engaged to someone you intend to live the rest of your life with.
Why did I propose to her? Because I loved her. You know, that was who I wanted to marry and start a relationship with, family.
Originally, when we started talking about the loan, and I discussed this mostly with Gabriel, they keep trying to downplay Gabriel's role in this, but Gabriel ran the business. The loan was made to help Gabriel and Andrea in this business. Due to circumstances beyond my control, the company, of course, did not make it. I would like to know why they're suing me.
Okay. Well, probably because your name's on the check.
The reason my name is on that check is they would not write it out to Gabriel because they were afraid he'd take the money and run.
I never drew up that loan. I signed it basically because I was pressured to sign it.
How were you pressured to sign it, Andrea?
Gabe is a very manipulative person. He is very good at manipulating the situation.
But you're engaged to him.
Right. But he manipulated the whole time. He is not the person that he claimed to be.
Andrea put on her front. It was understood by a complete meeting of the minds about that loan.
Mr. and Ms. Bollock, your point is clear. You loaned $18,000 and you want it back.
Yes.
All right. Do you think they would have given $18,000 for this company if they didn't feel you were going to be involved and ensure that they would
Well,
be
I
paid
told her
back?
I would try to be sure that it was paid back by them.
Andrea, what about you? Are you responsible for any payment on this $18,000?
I didn't want the loan.
I didn't ask you if you did. Do you think you're responsible for any part of repayment of this $18,000? Y'all ever talked about this? I mean, together, have y'all ever discussed or had the opportunity to discuss this?
You took the check.
I took the check because you asked me to take the check and put it in the bank for Gabriel.
Is Gabriel not responsible for any of this $18,000 as well?
I don't think so.
Wait. What did you say, Andrea?
He's a con man and a thief. When I hear Gabriel's name brought up today, it brings back a lot of anger, a lot of emotion, everything that I went through and the fact that he's not supposed to be responsible for anything, but I am.
Why did you make it out to Gabriel Bollock?
I didn't make it out to
Andrea
Gabriel Bollock.
What does that say right there? It says Gabriel Bollock and Andrea
We
Butler,
made-
and it does not say Jerry Butler on it.
But-
Why in the
but
world did
took
you
the
accept the check?
Because you asked me to.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. You know, I could ask you to do a lot of things, jump off of a bridge.
when
Would you
you
like to
know-
accept that?
Jerry was awfully upset and defensive about that his name was not on the contract or anything like that. But when you accept responsibility for something, you accept responsibility for it.
Mr. Butler, with all fairness, there's at least 3 people who can be responsible at this point for this money. 2 of them are sitting right here. That got a little heated in there. I thought Mr. Bollock and Mr. Butler were going to get into it for a minute.
They were coming across the table at each other.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotions involved in this.
I agree, it's not easy.
No, I mean, you've got Andrea, who she and Gabe were engaged, and that's split up.
That's over.
The business is split up.
It's done. Now the future in-laws don't get along at all.
Nobody gets along.
It's a lot of emotion involved, and I mean, Miss Bollock was really hot.
That's what makes things tough.
That is real tough, and I mean, you add money into that, and it really gets bad.
It's real personal.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a lot of other witnesses we need to talk to, people to interview to get this straightened out. So let's get on the road and go talk to them.
All right.
All right. Come on, Buck, let's go. We're headed out to see Roxy Resnick. Roxy is Andrea Butler's best friend.
Okay.
She also knows Gabe.
All right.
You never know what friends are gonna say.
It's true.
I mean, you know how girls talk, so you know she knows a lot.
Absolutely.
It's just a matter of whether or not she's gonna tell us what she knows.
That's true.
I'm interested to see, you know, if she'll really come clean about the relationship as far as the business and how everybody was involved in the business.
But you know she knows, because that's her girlfriend.
I know she knows.
She knows.
Yeah, I just like you say, it's just a matter of whether or not she's gonna tell us.
She's gonna tell you, exactly.
Hey, Roxy. I'm Judge Carla Brown.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Hi.
you. So what do you know about the business that they were in?
I know that it first was a construction company. That's what Andrea wanted it to be. That's what she originally was going to go to school for.
Okay.
And then Gabe had convinced her to do a repo. She didn't know anything about repo. That was Gabe's expertise. I knew that they had the company and she was getting ready to shut down because there was money being extorted out.
What do you mean by that?
Gabe was pocketing a lot of the money.
Do you feel that the Butlers have any responsibility for any of this money?
I do think that because Andrea did sign, she is partly at fault because she did sign paperwork. The full responsibility is not hers.
Okay.
I do think that Gabe had a lot to do with it, seeing that it was him that came to his parents. He had a big hand in that. He was the one that was doing
He's
all
the one
of
out doing the legwork.
it. Right.
Who's managing the books?
He was, as well as Andrea. They were doing it together.
What if I tell you they all say you had nothing to do with the books?
Judge, I got a great joke I want to share with you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. But it may be a little bit inappropriate.
Why?
Well, it's about an attorney.
Oh.
It's an attorney joke.
Watch it now.
I know.
Watch it.
Anyway, what's the difference between an attorney and a sperm cell? You have no idea, right?
Don't know.
You don't know.
Don't know.
Okay, at least the sperm cell has 1,000,001 chance to be a human being.
Oh, shut
I
up.
know that was bad.
That
I know.
is not funny.
And that's offensive. I apologize.
I am offended.
I was afraid if I upset my daughter too much that she would walk out with him and I'd never see her again, and I love my daughter.
Headed out now to see Sherry Butler. Sherry's Jerry's wife, Andrea's mom. Sherry was an officer of the corporation, controlled the checkbook.
Uh-oh.
So, you know, when you've got the purse strings, you pretty much have control.
Of the money, that's right.
Absolutely. You know, they kept on saying that The company didn't make any money, that's why the loan wasn't paid back. That Gabriel was stealing. She should know. $18,000 was the loan from Mr. and Ms. Bollock to Gabriel to Andrea.
It was something that she was forced into by him. I really feel betrayed. We took a chance, but we didn't know that we were taking a chance with somebody that would take everything we had. We had no idea what he was doing, that he was pocketing all the money and lying to us all along, and he was sitting there lying to us to our face. He was lying to Andrea.
All right, you understand the $18,000 check was made out to your husband, Jerry Butler.
Yes.
So you think Jerry has any liability since the check was made out to him?
No, that loan was made to Gabriel and Andrea.
What I don't understand is this guy's supposedly a loser, crook, shyster that even his own mom says you can't trust. But he's living in y'all's house.
You ask him a question and he could explain it to you like you would really believe him. I mean, he's a person that when you meet, you instantly like him.
He's a con artist.
He is a con artist from the word go.
Y'all could have kicked him out if you wanted to.
We could have.
Okay, but you didn't.
I was afraid if I upset my daughter too much that she would walk out with him and I'd never see her again, and I love my daughter.
Gabriel's living in your house, engaged to your sister, living under your parents' roof. You're there. You can see that there's something up with this guy. Is everybody else blind or what?
He kept spouting off about how he was going to turn everything around and make it work, and it never materialized. He's one of those people that you talk to and you can tell half the time he's telling you a tall tale. He's not being honest. He's just making stuff up to make himself sound cool.
Next up is Bruce Bollock,
Okay.
Daniel Bullock's first cousin. I tell you what's going to be interesting. He talked to the Bullocks before they made the loan. He talked to and gave some advice to Andrea and Gabe before they got into the business, which I don't think they followed.
Yeah, clearly.
He's going to give us the truth. He has no agenda,
It's true.
nothing to gain here. I think he's going to give us the straight and skinny.
All right, but hold on. Before we go, I have yet another one of my famous lawyer jokes.
No.
You ready?
I
This is a
don't
good one.
think
This is a good
so.
one. Okay, listen. What's the difference between a lawyer and a catfish?
I have no idea.
One's a slimy, scum-sucking bottom feeder, and the other's a fish. Judge, you gotta give it to me. That was a good one.
That's bad. That's really bad.
Okay,
Let's
I'm
go.
sorry. All right.
Gabriel called me one day and said he wanted to come up and talk, and also introduced me to his fiancée. They said that they were going to go into business.
So how'd all this sound to you? How'd you think all this was going to end up, these two young kids going into business?
I was concerned that they would not succeed. I sent Gabriel and Andrea a budget so that they could go through and try to calculate how much it was going to cost them to operate.
Did they seem like they knew that they were doing, that they were capable of running a business, or how did they seem to you?
They were unaware of the how to do a budget and how to calculate the costs of operating a business.
So was there someone that was going to help them with all that? Do you know?
To my knowledge, it was Andrea's father.
The Bollocks don't think Gabriel, their own son, is responsible for repayment of any of this money. What do you think about that?
I would think that's probably correct also, because to my knowledge, he was not an owner, he didn't have check signing authority, and he was not an officer of a company.
Okay. We're headed out now to see Pat Belk. Pat is a lifelong friend of Mrs. Bollock, and I'm hoping that she can give us some insight into really kind of what makes Mrs. Bollock tick, what she's really all about. Obviously, she knows Gabriel, and she also knows that, you know, the Bollocks don't exactly trust their own son.
Yeah,
So-
that's interesting.
I'm interested to see why she thinks they would loan the money and actually expect to get paid back
No, I got you.
when they don't trust him themselves. Mr. and Mrs. Bollock are only suing Jerry Butler and Andrea Butler. They're not suing their own son, Gabriel, who they loaned this money to. Now, why do you think they would not include him in the suit?
I really can't see them loaning Gabriel that much money. I mean...
Okay, but they did. They did. And they're the ones that say there was a contract and we have a copy of the contract. So that surprises you that they would do that.
That does surprise me.
What can you tell me about Mrs. Bollock? What kind of person is she?
She would give you the shirt off her back. She would do anything she could for you. She's just that kind of person. And ever since I've known her, she's been that way.
Do you think she's a little naive about her son? Do you think she's a little naive maybe about his culpability and his irresponsibility?
Oh, I really couldn't say. I know, Mom thinks their kids do no wrong, but we know that they do. So I really couldn't say whether she's naive about him or not.
All right, Judge, that was our last witness. What you thinking?
Well, there's a lot to think about. There's family involved, which always makes it difficult.
That's true.
You add family and money. That's like oil and water.
Does not mix.
It doesn't often mix.
That's true.
Oh, so it's interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of things to think about.
You should have said my son's a con artist and will take you for everything you have. Oh, by the way, it's going to take you till the day you die to repay everything that he steals from you.
Hey, Sean, it's Carla.
Hey, Judge, how you doing?
I'm all right. What are you doing?
I'm putting the criminals away.
All right, good man, good man. Hey, I've decided what I'm going to do on this Bollock versus Butler case.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you will round them up, I am ready to render a verdict.
All right, I'll do it.
Hey, when you're talking to them, just keep in mind, it could be emotional for all of them. Just keep it in mind.
All right, I got your back, Judge. I'll get on it now.
All right, thanks, bud.
Yes, bye-bye.
All right, bye. Mr. and Mrs. Bollock, you brought this suit wanting to recover $18,000. You brought the suit against Jerry Butler and his daughter, Andrea Butler. I also want to point out that noticeably absent from the suit is your son, Gabriel.
The fact that my parents didn't sue me, that's nothing I can do about that.
We knew that there was no possibility of getting any money at all back from him, so we decided to sue the person that we put in responsibility of the check and the company.
I trusted Gabe to run my business. I didn't know I was being duped like I was by him.
I did my best. The business was Andrea's idea. When it got into it, she wanted no part of it and opted to go back to work. It was kind of threw in my lap and there it laid.
It blows my mind how I'm supposed to be completely responsible for a loan that their son engineered.
But as far as the business, when it started declining, all you'd had to done was sold the trucks then, and the paid us, and that would have got us.
Have you ever
there.
tried to sell a record? Have you ever tried to sell a record? It takes no, I did not. Your son did.
He couldn't.
Do you know how long it takes to sell a record in an economy like this? Do you know that your son engineered everything that happened with that company? Your son lies to everyone and everything.
Yeah.
Evidently, you lied too.
No idea.
That's the reason that I told Jerry when I talked to him on the phone.
Maybe you should have reworded it and said, my son's a con artist and will take you for everything you have. Oh, by the way, it's going to take you till the day you die to repay everything that he steals from you.
If I shouldn't have trusted him, why didn't you tell me then instead of now when you're wanting to sue me for the money that he came to you and asked for because you know he can't pay it back? Don't tell me he couldn't do it. He managed to do it, and I think he learned it from you, how to go around everybody.
After considering your testimony, after considering your witness's testimony and the evidence that's been presented, my verdict is as follows. Jerry, I find that you're responsible for nothing. The verdict against you is 0. Andrea, I find that the verdict against you is for $12,000. What I did is I took the total $18,000 and I found that there was liability from Gabriel, from you, and from a corporation that you were an officer of. Mr. and Mrs. Bullock, I do find your son is responsible to you for a portion of this verdict. That is the verdict of the court. The legal part of this is over. This is a time that I would like to see if you can come to some sort of terms that you can agree on to walk out of the door and say, we're all at peace with this.
Loaned the money to you guys thinking that you had a change with Gabriel and Andrea to make a future for them and for yourself. It was not my intention to hurt you in the least.
Jerry, I want to thank you for keeping my son for 3 years. He loved you. You were his dad. He has not been in our home in 12 years. You took him in. You were going to guide him the right way. He even went to church. And we are so thankful that for 3 years, y'all had him in your life. Same thing with you, Andrea. We were thinking about the wedding. I offered you my china. I would have loved to give you my china. Yes, the relationship is broken, but we thank you for what you've done for our son.
Gabe was the link between us all, and I just consider this over with. There's nothing there anymore.
Your son is no longer in my life. He is no longer a part of my life. This lawsuit is over with. Therefore, we have nothing to link us anymore.
Okay, the court has rendered its verdict in the case. This matter is now concluded. The rest is up to you.
The decision was fair. It's what I expected. It's obviously not what I wanted.
We've lost our son. We have lost a lot of money, and but we can live with it. We always have, and we will this time.